My name's Doug Goodlow. I'm the product manager here at Graphic Marking Systems, and this is the GFP 30-inch laminator. It's a cold laminator, just showing you how it's webbed and how to use the laminator today. So this does come on locking casters, so these are nice heavy-duty casters. It does sheets or rolls. This is a sheet feed table. So when I'm doing roll to roll, the roll will be mounted here. When we're going roll to roll, we will put this up. This will lock it down if you're doing sheets or boards. This will open up to about 1/2 inch, so you can do some pretty thick boards for mounting and stuff like that. But for today, we're going to put this up and we're going to mount a roll of printed media. I'm going to show you how to web it and show you how to put your take-ups on and those items. Alright, so I'm going to press the foot pedal to get this bottom roller to roll. Alright, this is forward reverse. So the top roller is not going to roll until it's actually touching the media or the other roller. So to close this is called the nip, where the two rollers come together. And to close it, I'm going to use this knob on the side, and you'll see when it touches, now it's rolling. Okay, this is typically what I use to start the laminate with, but you'll see when I put the leader card in here and I pull it in, obviously this roller has to push down or squash that leader card. When it gets all the way through, this top roller does not drop. So it stops rolling. So then what we want to do, once this leader card is through, we're going to tighten that up a little bit. So I just want to illustrate that so you can see how that works, because now we're going to put the laminate and the printed media on and do it again. Okay, so for today, for demonstration purposes, we are going to laminate some convex chrome with some 5mm polyester wet look. And I've got this, you'll notice the size difference here. This 13-inch roll of laminate, a 15-inch roll of media. So I'm going to laminate that right down the middle like this. So what I've done is, on our laminating mandrel, I've set this core plug in about 1.5 inches, or about 1 inch actually, from this one. So it's about 1 inch further in, and I've locked this down. I put a piece of tape on the right side of this so that each time I'm doing the same size rolls, I don't have to worry about lining things up. They'll be lined up because I've locked these down. This is your scrap rewind. So it takes the liner, this takes the liner up, so you'll notice they're about the same width almost. And this is going to wind up this way, so you can see these little teeth here, this little protrusion. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this core on here, and I'm going to center it, and I'm just using this for a kind of an eyeball measurement here. This is 15-inch and the laminate's 13, so that looks pretty centered. Okay, so this will be set, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the laminate on this one. The laminate is going to go on like so. And the important thing to note on these core plugs is that the white ring goes on the inside, and we want to leave a little bit of room here. There's about 1/8 of an inch here and 1/8 of an inch here. And so the idea here is, once I've locked this down, now this isn't going anywhere, but the way I put drag on this is I just tighten it. Because right now it's free rolling. You can see it just comes right off. But if I tighten this, I have a harder time. It puts a lot of drag on it. On laminates, you don't typically need a lot of drag. It's the printed printed media is where you need to drag. There's my printed media. Obviously, my printed media is going to come off and go into the laminator this way. Same thing, about 1/8 of an inch here. Give you a nice little Allen wrench tool here. Okay, so the laminate roll, like I said, I've got the right hand side locked. It's got a piece of tape on it, so I know which one's the right side. And the laminate is going to come off the bottom. Loosen that up a little bit. It's going to come off the bottom and it's going to go over. Basically, I'm going to peel up this liner. The liner is going to come up and be taken up on the take-up. This is just going to come straight out over the nip. This is going to come in, and your liner is going to be wound up on the take-up, which I don't have mounted on here quite yet. Alright, so I'm going to put this down, and this has a tapered hole here, so all I'm going to do is push this on spring-loaded, and it locks into place there. Works very, very well. Now I can center this more if I want to over the laminate roll. Okay, so, and the way this works, and there's a diagram right here for webbing it. So the laminate is going to come out the front, and this is going to come up. Going to be taken up on this roller here. Okay. Which is easy to do, so I'm going to pull this back up. Get that out of the way. So the thing about release liners is that you can't stick tape to it. Okay, so what we typically do is just take a piece of tape here, stick it on there, and then just twist it, and all you need to do is just get it started here. Okay, and then that way it'll just take it up. Alright, get this unstuck from there, and I'm going to pull this up out of the way, and now we're ready to stick that in there with my leader card. Alright, so this is a well-used leader card. Okay, and once these things get too thick, it's a lot more turning of the nips to open them and close them. So we're going to discard this one now, and we're going to use a new one. So all I want to do is pull this down past the nip, and I want to get it. If I want to, I can pull the liner up a little bit onto that take-up. And I'm just going to try to get that as straight as possible and push it into the nip. And I'll use my foot pedal to just pull it in a little bit. And now I'm ready to take this printed media, pull it up here, and you'll see that it's perfectly centered. The laminate is perfectly centered onto the media. So the best way, you know, this is coming off real easily, which is fine. I want to tighten this just a little bit, give it a little bit more tension. I don't want to put so much drag on it that it just pulls the tape off. I want to have some drag on it so I get it on there straight. So I'm going to lay this on here like so, and I'm going to put a piece of tape across it. Get it nice and even. If you take your time and do it right at the beginning, then you won't have any wrinkles, you won't have to fight with it. My favorite tape is packing tape. Just the standard clear packing tape. Get that on there. I pull that up. And like I said, I just want to get this on here nice and straight. Okay. Now I'll pull it in and turn my speed down a little bit. Once this sticks to this, then you can tighten up your drag on here, on your printed media. All right, what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing a little bit of air between the laminate and the roller, which I don't want. So I'm going to tighten up my laminate a little bit. See if that'll go away here real quick. It should, especially if it's vinyl. And then I'm going to tighten this up in between the two drags. And then once I'm sure that's going well, I can speed it up. Now, a little word on speeding it up or laminating it too fast. On some materials, some laminates, if you laminate fast, especially laminates with paper liners, you create little pockets in the adhesive, and that results in what they call silvering. Silvering is the little tiny air bubbles that you get in it. With this, because it's coming off of a polyester liner, I'm not probably not going to get any air bubbles. But on products with paper liners, you're taking your chances. You'll get some air bubbles. Now, with vinyl media, the air bubbles will dissipate. This is going along just fine. I can really crank it up. It's about as fast as I can go. Alright, so now I'm getting to the end of this. So I'll slow it down. And then my thought is here is that if I'm going to do another run with the same laminate, then I'll cut this off and I will follow it in with that leader card or a new leader card. Okay, but I can just cut that leader card off the front end of this. Okay, so the reason this works so well is now if I follow this in, I want to make sure I have enough laminated product here. There we go. Now I'm ready for the next job to be taped onto the front of this. And so what I'll do is I'll take this other handy little tool and I'll just cut this off. So that was for demonstrating the next job, but actually I'm not going to use this laminate again right away, so I'm going to take all this stuff off and I'll show you how that's done. Now what I want to do is take this laminate out. Okay, so what I can do is just pull on it, so I have a little bit of slack there. So here's the thing, don't use knives on the laminator. You are bound to cut into the roller. I mean, I see a lot of laminators with cut up rollers, and then all I have to do is wind it up basically. When I get to the area where the liner is now covering the laminate again, then I'll just cut it off right there. Get the laminate off, and it's ready to start your next job. There's my end of my printed job. Alright, so that's the end of the demonstration of the GFP 230C.